Here we go. We're going to learn a very complicated, funky rhythm, which I'll play for you. To begin with, we have to look at how we set up the left hand. Now I'm going to place my little finger on the 12th fret, first string, and my first finger on the 9th fret, third string. Now that's giving me an octave of E. An E on the 9th fret, third, and an E on the 12th fret, first. Now, the second string, although you're not actually barring or pressing it down, the first finger does lean on it to mute it out. As you can hear, I'm playing the second string. If you're getting an open B, when you come to strike that octave, which is the two E's, you won't get the right sound that you want. So you want to lean onto the second string, create that nice little muting effect. Now, with these fingers, my middle finger and my third finger, you want to position them so the third finger is touching the 4th string at the 11th fret, and the middle finger is touching the 5th string at the 10th fret. Now I say touching because, once again, although this forms a chord, a lot of the time when you're doing this rhythm, you're actually muting the 5th and 4th string and the 2nd string, but you're pressing the octave E's. Now this is quite difficult to do. It may not look too tough, but it's actually quite difficult to press the octaves, that's the 3rd and 1st string, while muting the 2nd and muting the 5th and 4th, and keeping your fingers in position. And you can do this. You can practice muting the octaves as well, so your little finger and your first finger aren't pressing either, and you can see if you can do a down-up stroke and just get a muted sound. Don't worry if you hit the 6th string, that's not too important for now. What you can do is set up a sort of a down, up, mute, and then every now and again on a downstroke, press the octave and see if it works. So you should sound something like this. 1 and 2 and pressed on the 3. Doesn't really matter where you press, on any downstroke, and then release immediately for a muted upstroke. So let's say I press the octave on a downstroke, and then I come up and lift like that, so I get a muted upstroke. You can do it fairly fast as well. All mutes, and now I'm going to press. And you can also try alternating between pressing on a downstroke and pressing on an upstroke, like this. Now let's begin tackling this rhythm. We start off with the hand position we just previously looked at, and we press the octave down and go 1 and. Again, 1 and. Doesn't matter if you hit from the 5th string down or if you just hit from the 3rd string down. It goes 1 and then on the 2, the downstroke, you actually press the chord on the 5th and 4th string. That's your middle and 3rd finger pressed down behind the fret, and you get that on the 2, the downstroke. So we have 1 and 2, like that. Again. 1 and 2, and then on and you bring the pick up and miss the strings. So we have 1 and 2 and then you slide that chord up a fret. So your 3rd finger's on the 12th and your middle finger's on the 11th, and you hit that as a downstroke. We have 1 and 2 and lift up silently on the and after 2 again. 1 and 2 and move up 3 on that downstroke. Now here's something to watch out for. When you stretch your 3rd finger and your middle finger up for that chord, it's very easy in doing so to nudge your little finger past the 12th fret up to there, and of course you're going to get a very ugly sound if that happens. So once again, practice sliding up and making sure, you can even do this silently, just try moving that chord up and make sure that the little finger and first finger remain in place and are not too bothered by this shift of chord, which will lead those fingers to move position. So one more time, we have 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to play the rhythm for you one more time. Now let's continue on. We went 1 and 2 and 3, and has to be muted. So we go 1 and 2, 3 and 4. We need a mute on the and after 3 and the and the downstroke on 4. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now notice I'm muting with 3 fingers just about anywhere around the 12th fret. We're going to need a bar coming up on the and after 4, an upstroke, which will be the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string barred at the 12th fret. We're going to do an upstroke and a hammer on with the middle finger. This is coming up, of course, on the 13th fret, 3rd string. So we have 1 and 2 and 3, mute, and 4, and hammer like that. Very difficult move to make, probably one of the hardest rhythmic moves I can think of. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now in addition to the hammer on the and after 4, we're 4, and as you hammer you have to bring your hand over the strings but don't hit them. So it's 4 and 1. 4 and you want to compensate for the fact that you've done a hammer on so that your right hand, when you watch the rhythm being played, my hand is constantly going down and up in time with the beats. That is downstrokes on the numbers and upstrokes on the ands. So unfortunately, you don't want to go 4 and hammer on and leave your hand at the top here, because it'll make your right hand motion counter to the way you want it to be in terms of it lining up with the beats. So we'll go on one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Those are the mutes. 3 and 4 and 1. Like that. Again to there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. As you notice, 3 and 4, I'm gradually moving into position for that bar as I'm muting. Like this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. One more look at the rhythm from the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's where we got to. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now a hand must drop down with the hammer on there. 4 and 1. Then we come up and mute an upstroke on the and after 1, and we place our 3rd finger on the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string and 1st string at the 14th fret. So it's 4 and 1 and, like that, and. Again, 4 and 1 and 2. So on the 2, we press this chord down for a sound. So it's 4 and 1 and 2. 1. So that's where we got to. 4 and 1 and 2. Then on and after 2, we just bring our hand back up and miss the strings. So it's a silent upstroke. So it's 4 and 1 and 2 and. Again, 4 and 1 and 2 and then for the 3 we do another hammer on, a downstroke this time, and we compensate the timing by bringing our hand up in time with the hammer on, so it's like that. So we have from the beginning of the section, it's 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So it's on the and after 3 that you hear the hammer on, and the right hand goes up. 3 and. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And then for the last beat, or bar, we go 4 and. We just mute. You can mute with 3 fingers or just place the bar down. It really doesn't matter. So we have 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you're in position to go back to the 1 with the octave. So it's 4, like that. 4, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. The best of luck with that rhythm. It's very difficult. But once you've mastered it, what's really cool is that you can make up your own combinations. For example, instead of just doing the octave, like I taught you, then the slide, like that, you could come right in with a downstroke and a slide. And once again, if you slide on the 1, as you slide up, bring your hand up so that you're in time with the beat. So you could do things like that kind of thing. Also, you don't have to be fixed in this position. You can move this octave along the neck to another position. A difficult place to move it to would be down here on the 5th fret and the 2nd fret. It's rather a stretch there, but you may get some nice combinations like this.